people. So I'm super late. But yeah. But better late than never. So today we're gonna start talking about toxic traits. Today's just gonna be a little light day. I'm just gonna give like a couple of explanations. Well, I ain't gonna say explanation, I mean definitions. So we're gonna dive right into this because I don't want to take up too much time. So, like I said, we're talking about toxic traits. So what does the word toxic means? I have two definitions. The first definition I have is containing or being poisonous material, especially when capable of causing death or serious harm. The second definition is exhibiting symptoms of infection. So, what does the word traits mean? A distinguishing quality. Second definition I have is a particular characteristic that can produce a particular type of behavior. So what does the word toxic trait means? So the phrase toxic trait is a part of somebody's personality that doesn't seem so bad at first, but gets worse and worse over time until the only way you'll tolerate it is by having a fetish for it. So basically, the word toxic in itself, if you, like I say, I like to play on words. I like to really understand what we say, because a lot of times, like we just say phrases and whatnot, because this would be more of a phrase. We say phrases and things like that, or slogans, or whatever you want to call it. We just say it because of the trend. Like, we don't really understand like what it actually means. Like me, I'm the type of person, I overthink just like this. Like, I really break down words to like be like, okay, so this is what this means, this is what this means, you know. So basically, what I want to teach is we all have toxic traits. At some point, something that we're doing can be poisonous to someone else. Like, say for instance, if you're the type of person that's on the self-love journey and a person that don't truly know how to love themselves, you can be poisonous to that person because you can cause more harm to them, because for one, you're going to be on a whole different wave path. So you're going to expect them to understand certain things, and as a result, they not. So you causing yourself harm because you're trying to explain concepts that this person totally don't understand, and you causing them harm because you're trying to force something on them that they truly don't want. I had to personally learn that myself. You know, just because you are doing something is for the betterment, and it may be for the betterment of the person, it can be poisonous to you because you can keep trying over and over to give a person something that they really just don't want. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, by you trying to force this on them, you're being poisonous because you getting frustrated because you want this to do this, you want this to do that, boom, boom, boom. They getting frustrated because they really don't want that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of us don't want to admit that, because a lot of times if we do admit that, then we have to accept what they are saying and the fact that we're rejecting it. And because we are rejecting it, because we know it, a lot of times we have to own up to it and actually be in a position to accept it, to move on from it. So when it comes to toxic traits, a lot of times like people just think of it as like, oh, this person's just negative, this person is just that. No, not necessarily, because a lot of times in life when it comes to toxic traits, say for instance, by me being a positive, motivating person, a loving person, a family-oriented person, good morning, cousin. By me being a family-oriented person, those particular traits can be positive to a person that's negative. I mean, they can be negative and toxic to a person that's negative, person that doesn't have a relationship with their family, and things like that. So the good things about you, another person can see as being bad. That's another concept I had to learn. You know, just because you are a good person don't mean you are a good person for everybody, because your good may be somebody else's bad. So in that sense, you are toxic to them. You know, but to you, it's like, oh, dang, I ain't think about it like that. You know, so like I say, like, it's good for you and it's good for them. It's just y'all don't mix together. It's just like you trying to mix water and oil. It ain't gonna mix. It'll look like it's doing something, but eventually when you let it settle, it's gonna eventually just separate. You know what I'm saying? So we all got toxic traits. So that's why when I say we changing ourselves in the world, one toxic trait at a time, I'm saying from your standpoint, what do you personally feel is toxic within you? Not what other people tell you what's your toxic traits. Because other people can tell you what's their toxic trait, but that's based on their perspective of your life. Only you know what you've been through in life, and only you know what you've overcome, you know, and things of that nature. So in that sense, your toxic traits are things that you should learn about yourself. Like for me, I know my toxic traits. You know what I'm saying? One of my toxic traits, I'm very selfish. But I'm very selfish because of the type of person that I am. I'm a loving person, and I expect, because I give everybody everything that I want in life, and everything that I do and be 100, I expect that in return. So I'm selfish when it comes to that aspect. But it's other things I'm selfish. I have really an only child syndrome, which is crazy because I got a crap ton of siblings. But that comes because I've always been the only boy. So in a sense, I have an only child syndrome from that aspect. I don't know what just happened. My phone just flickered. But like I say, I love this topic because it shows you, and it really breaks down, you know, what it really means when it says toxic traits. So if you don't remember anything from this particular message, remember, your good can be toxic to someone else. It's just that simple. Just because you are a good person in life, don't mean you will be a good person for everybody. Because everybody good ain't the same. You know, it's like a general basis of what good is. But to this person, this may be good. To that person, this may be good. You know, like me cussing you out and telling you how I really feel to a person, that may be good. To another person, that may be toxic. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on your perspective and how you view life itself. So when it comes to toxic traits, a lot of times we like to call other people traits toxic, but it's just like, it's not really, because it's just who they are as a person. You know, you may not just gel with it. You know, like how you have like, you know, I have like other things that I'm gonna talk about tomorrow that's really gonna tie what I'm saying, and y'all will understand why I say this. But just like how you have, like, I use the example of how, you know, women may deal with a man that may manipulate them or something like that. To that particular man, he may not be toxic, because in his mind, what he's doing is how he is as a person. To the other person, he may be toxic because you quote unquote manipulated me. At the same time, when it comes down to people affecting us, a lot of times we put the blame on a person for making us feel a certain type of way, or for opening us up to the thing. What you're really doing in that sense, you're giving that person too much power. Because at the end of the day, it's your choice. You chose to trust this person. You chose to move in this particular way with this person. So in a sense, because of your actions, you have to accept the consequences as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure it was signs to show everything that you see now. And that's just how life goes. Like, it's always signs, but us as people choose to ignore them. You know what I'm saying? Because of the potential that, you know, or because we may, oh, I'm overthinking, or, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Just like the definition of toxic traits. A part of somebody's personality that doesn't seem so bad at first, but gets worse and worse until the only way you'll tolerate it is by having a fetish for it. So basically, you put up with this person toxic ways so much to the point you end up loving that about that person. So in that sense, you basically accept what they give you instead of making a decision to either try to actively talk about it or either just remove yourself from the situation. It's really just that simple. A lot of times people say it's complicated. No, we as people make things complicated. Life is all about choices. It's really simple. If you really break down life itself and remove, a lot of times what happens is when we say things are complicated, we're complicating them by using our emotional intelligence. And then we wave out the logical intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't use emotional intelligence for a logical situation. The signs are there. It shows you exactly what you need to see. But because we are emotional beings, we like to weigh in the effect of emotions. But in a sense, sometimes you just have to remove emotions and just take that little L, take that little hurt, and go about your little business. Because I promise you, staying in a situation where you can see the toxic and you can see that it's not for the betterment of you, is actually taking you down, it's going to actually do you worse. And then once you get out of that situation, now you got to learn yourself. You got to reinvent who you are as a person, because you have lost yourself in this situation. And there's certain things that you didn't like about yourself that now you want to change. And now you got to do all of this. You got to do that anyways. But it's much easier to do it while you're standing at the top of the hill versus rolling back down the hill. And now you got to go up the hill and then go back down on the other side. It's easy to do it while you're at the top of the mountain to go down the mountain. Then to go back down and go up, then go down. It makes sense. So tomorrow, I'm going to talk about 8 traits of toxic influences. I think we all can relate to being in one of these categories or multiple of these categories. I know myself personally. I definitely can agree that I've been in a couple of these categories before in my life. You know, so the whole thing about it, man, when it comes to these toxic traits, is really just spending time learning who you is. Learning what you like, learning what you don't like. The things that you don't like about yourself, put in the work and change it. If you okay with how you are as a person, don't change it then. Just keep it going. Find somebody that do like stuff like that. That's the thing. Like, us as people try to complicate life so much by trying to change who we is as a person to fit in with a certain group of people, or because we feel like we need to live our life like this. Life ain't meant to be lived the same. If it was, we wouldn't have social classes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't have different religions. You wouldn't have different backgrounds. You wouldn't have, everything would be the same, black and white. It's not. Everything is meant to be different. Everybody has a unique personality or traits about themselves that make them who they are. But a lot of times in life, the things that make us who we are, we don't like. We want to be normal. No, I don't like that. I ain't a normal person. I ain't average. You know, I'm the type of person, honestly, I'd rather be below average or above average than be considered average. That's just how extreme I am. I never want to be just like anybody else. I either want to be considered you ain't doing enough or you doing too much. I never want to just be like, it's okay. That's not who I am as a person. I'm very extreme. And I know that's like a negative thing to say, but nah. I like to stand out. That's just who I am as a person. And I understand some people just, you know, they just like mediocre. You know, they just like to be average. That's just not who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I created this particular platform, you know, to help people move from those particular mindsets, to understand, like, you always want better and more for yourself. You never want to be stagnant in life. Like, if you stagnant, you know what I'm saying, it's some things that you need to be working on. We always got things we can work on in life, whether it's personal, spiritual, emotional, whatever, physical, whatever, you know, mental, whatever you feel that you need to be working on in this particular time of your life. That's what you should be doing. You know, that's one of the things that I can definitely say COVID helped me understand. Like, take time for yourself. Because I was the type of person, I'm always doing for people. I never take time for me. That's why sometimes, like, I don't do these videos. Because I just be like, okay, take time for myself. Like, I be going, and I'll be like, take time for yourself. Chill out. Don't do that. Like yesterday, I went to the grocery store, came home, had a flat tire, couldn't go to rehearsal. I literally sat at home all day yesterday and just rest. I ain't do nothing at all but watch movies and chill. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Because lately I've been doing a lot of work and I haven't been taking time for myself. And that's the thing about life, man. Sometimes you got to take time for yourself. Work on you, focus on you, get you together. Because I promise you, if you work on you and get you together, you'll be a better version of yourself to be a better person for somebody else. That's how life works. So I'm going to go ahead and pray. Then I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. Tomorrow, remember, we're going to talk about 8 traits of toxic influences. Honestly, that is subject to change. So if I come on here tomorrow and talk about something else, just forget I even mentioned this. But I might talk about this. Like, I've been like doing like some reading on these particular 8 things. I kind of like where it's going, and I just want to, you know, I may break it up and do 4 tomorrow, 4 Thursday, and then do a recap Friday with some other points that I have. But pretty much I covered everything I wanted to say. But Lord, I come to you today to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to wake up. Thank you for allowing us to start this wonderful Tuesday. I pray that today be the best day we have ever had in our lives. And I pray from this day forward, each day becomes greater and greater. Lord, I know that some of us may have woke up with heavy hearts, a lot on our mind, or just in a negative space. I ask that for those individuals that have, Lord God, you remove the negativity and the negative thinking and replace it with positivity. I ask as we go through this life, Lord God, and as we go through this day, I ask that any negativity that comes and try to interrupt our positive energy and being, I ask that you remove it before it even come to us. And if it somehow get to us, Lord God, I ask that you change our mind and allow us to focus on the positive so that we can become positive people. These are the blessings I ask in your precious son, Jesus' name, amen. That's it. So like I said, I'll be done with these notes Thursday, because Friday is just a recap. So I'll be done with these notes on Thursday. If you want the notes, send me a message. I will happily send you these notes. I got plenty of notes. I got 19 messages I done so far. So that means I done did this for 19 weeks. Maybe longer than that, because a couple of weeks I was just having discussions. But if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, and you just want to say something, send me a message. I'll be happily to discuss. If you want some further explanations on some of these topics, even past topics, send me a message. I happily do that. A lot of times, a lot of these messages, it be very general. I can't break them down like I want because it'll take too much time, honestly. And that's one of the things that a lot of people have been complaining about, but I'll leave that alone. You know, so yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna talk about 8 traits of toxic influences. There's another one that I wanted to talk about. I think I'm gonna talk about that and 7 types of toxic people and how to spot them. I think I'm gonna talk about that as well. But I don't know. I've been doing some reading on both of those, and I kind of like the 2. So I don't know. I'm gonna decide. I may do one tomorrow, one Thursday, and then do them together on Friday. I don't know. We'll see how the week goes. But that's it. For my people that's watching this on YouTube, daily tasks are in the description. For the people that's watching this live on Facebook, the daily task is in the announcement section of the group. It's the first thing you see. I purposely put it on there. So as soon as you open the group and you scroll down a little bit, you'll see announcements. Press, I think it's show more or whatever it is, and you'll see all of them. It should be 13, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 13. This Friday we'll have 14. I will add another daily task. We will have 14 daily tasks at this point. So make sure you do the daily tasks. It's not complicated. It's very simple. Ooh, I need to do this. Okay. I forgot I had to do something, but I remember now. So that's why I got, okay. So, yeah, make sure you do the daily tasks. Remember, like I said, they're not for me, they're for you. It's for you to become the person that you want to become. The person that you keep praying about becoming, but you don't want to take the time to become that person. You know, you can't expect a blessing to just fall out of the sky. It's not gonna happen that way, people. You're gonna have to work for it. You're gonna have to put in your due diligence. You're gonna have to do some things, you know. So one of the things that my mentor always asks me, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this and I'm gonna let y'all go. What are you willing to give up to get the life that you desire? And that's a question that I really want y'all to ponder on. What are you willing to give up to get to the life that you desire? And that's a question you should really ask yourself. And then once you start figuring out that, start giving up some of them things and start really focusing on the life that you want. Because a lot of times we say we ain't got time to do this. We got time. You just ain't utilizing your time correctly. You got 24 hours in a day. 24. If you can't use 24 hours correctly, you ain't gonna use 25. Just being honest. If you can't use what you got to get what you want, you ain't gonna be able to use more to get what you want. It just don't work that way. Don't. You know, for anything, you should use less to get more, and then you can really utilize more when you utilize everything you have. But that's a different discussion. So I'm gonna let y'all go. Like I said, the question is, what are you willing to give up to get to the life that you desire? And that should be something that you should reflect on. So, until tomorrow, remember, we're changing ourselves in the world one toxic trait at a time. If you don't feel like you have a toxic trait, this week is purposely for you. Until tomorrow, peace.